I'm making this video to make you aware of this website, potamap.us. On my way north from Florida to Indiana, I had a QSO with Canaan. Obviously, I played part of that QSO in the video that I did about 5.2, but I didn't play the whole thing. And part of it was that I was looking for a park to activate not that far off the beaten path, and I was having issues with how the Potamap shows up on the POTA website. It doesn't really track you very well. It doesn't really keep up with where you're driving. And he said, check this website out. Sure enough, I pull over and pull up this website on my phone and check this out. It's a pretty blah interface, right? Except the plot thickened. Let's do what it's telling us to do. Let's start here. In this case, I'm in Indiana, but you're gonna go select whatever you want, whatever state you want. You can select multiple states. So now this is gonna zoom into Indiana. Once it's zoomed in, it'll start pulling the database down, but you already see some items that are kind of interesting. You see the blue blotches here? These blue blotches are places that are already defined in a GIS database that might be parks. And of course, the yellow pins are all the things that you would expect the yellow pins to be. Parks for parks on the air. Get a little closer to one of my favorite haunts, Chain Lake State Park, US 2252. And if I click on this, it gives me that information, right? Well, I could find that on the POTA website, right? Yeah, but check this out. There's a second park inside of it. And here are the boundaries of that park. And as you can see, it's nested inside of it, and not all of Chain of Lakes counts as the Glacier Esker, which is 10283. On top of that, we have direct links to what I hope is a website that will continue to be developed. This wiki here is something I did not know about, but presumably like any other wiki, you can create an account and then log in and fill in information that you know to be truthful. This would be handy to have at a place where you're going and you don't know the place already. In addition to that, as I'm driving around, my little dot keeps on moving along with the map, and the map keeps on moving along with me. So I have a general idea of where the map is relative to where I'm at. In addition to that, I can click on the actual link for the park down at the bottom, and it takes me to the POTA website information for that park. The POTA website, not as good about it, right? It shows me what I think are the park limits, but these limits are derived from a national database that actually shows where the limits are. By the way, the Glacier Esker has a section that is detached. So, and I learned this by coming to this website. So I could go over here and activate over here as part of the Glacier Esker and still be in a twofer. Where before I was restricting my activations of 10283 to this area over here. As we keep on going around the interface, we're looking at I for information. And it's going to give you the info about potamap.info and telling you where he gets his data. And if you want to throw him a donation on BuyMeACoffee, there it is. As you can see, he's using OpenLayers library for mapping, and then USGS gap analysis project and the projected areas database of the United States to show you where the boundaries of the parks are. That way you don't have to guess, and that way you don't have to go hunt for them on the specific park website, because the POTA website doesn't do that. The POTA website shows you information and shows you general idea of where the boundaries are, but it doesn't give you the exact boundaries. And if you go to the DNR, they give you a link to the park information for, in this case, the Indiana DNR, and the Indiana DNR has the same detail that you want, but see that the Indiana DNR is not showing the chunk down here. And the USGS file says that this part is part of the Glacier Esker. Going back to the potamap.us website, you can report issues by clicking on the traffic sign down there, and it's going to take you to a GitHub location where you can do issue tracking. And if you enter an issue here that is documented, the dev is going to look at it and try to sort it out. Going back to the Potamap website, we have the bullseye to zoom to my location, assuming that I had location saver services enabled right now, which I don't. And you can toggle the map display. Now, this is a really neat feature for me. This kind of a map I understand just fine, and it comes in handy. It has information that lets me know where things are. Nothing against this map, but this map lets me correlate the park boundaries to real world features. So I can go to the park and follow the yellow brick road as I come in on the north side of the park, and know that if I go on the north side loop, as long as I'm on the south side of the road, I am in activation territory for the Glacier Esker. By the way, when I go activate the Glacier Esker, I normally do it in this little parking lot, or I'll show you another one, in this big parking lot off to the side here. But this overhead satellite view lets me correlate real world features to what I see. In other words, I can go to the park and see that since the park technical boundaries for the Glacier Esker are at this little corner here, could I set up at that corner and be set up for the twofer? In this case, yes, right? As long as I'm not up here, because then up here this becomes just a single park. This is the second park nested inside of the primary. As long as I'm in this area here, I'm good to go. I can activate and be a twofer. What else do we have here? Well, your common search. You can search for a specific park by park number. If I type in US 2252 and click on search park, it's going to take us to the zoomed out view of that. Let me see if I type in Chain O Lakes, if it finds it. Nope, not finding it. I find this to be a really neat resource, and as you can see, here's another twofer that's not too far from me. We have Tri-County State Fish and Wildlife Area, and within Tri-County State Fish and Wildlife Area is this little park called Griders Woods Nature Preserve. Again, another twofer where you can activate. Last time I activated this park, I had to set up in a tiny little cutout in here, barely just off the road, but I was inside of the park and therefore able to do a twofer. Let's zoom all the way out of this and switch back to the, or I should say the map view. I selected Indiana. I can come back over here and also select, let's add Michigan to this. And after it downloads the park definitions, it should populate the Michigan parks. There we go. That's all I have for you on this one. I hope the website is useful to you. It has been useful to me after I learned about it. Catch you guys on the next one. 7-3.